One of the hardest decisions for any young person looking to get into marriage is the choice of who is the right person for a husband, for a wife, for a partner in a lifelong agreement of love and marriage. My name is Kimathi, and today I'm with Professor Herman Manyora, one of the most notable public educators here in Kenya, and he's going to help me navigate the question, the $64 million question of just how do you decide who to marry. Welcome to the show. Subscribe, comment as we go on, and let's hear what Prof has to say about this issue. How are you, Prof?
Thank you. Fine.
Uko salama?
Yes, Kabisa.
So that is the issue, that is the question. When it's time to get married, when it's time to tie the knot, when it's time to settle down and get to the ground and start a family, how do you know the right candidate? Because it's not like choosing a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I mean, we get boyfriends, but when it comes to the decision of marriage, we tend to revert those people, and most of our existing partners usually fail the test of whether they can make a good partner in marriage. How do we go about it? Mimi sijui, Prof. Where do you start?
It depends on where you are operating from. It depends on your background.
Yeah?
It depends on a number of factors. You know, really.
Let's get down to them then.
It's not very easy to say, oh, you base yourself on this. Who to marry. Like we said in the other show, who to marry could be something decided by other people other than you, depending on your culture, religion, tradition, and so forth. Who to marry could be influenced by the sort of social life you live. If you are a churchgoer, very serious churchgoer, born again, chances of getting somebody within that context is also very high. Partly because this is the world you know. You operate from this world, and partly because you feel safe in the company, a union of somebody who, like you, knows you are Lord, you are saved, born again like you. You don't want to try somebody outside there you don't know.
So you can't disregard those issues of what you have in common and what do you have in common?
Of course. Sometimes, yeah, you look at that. You look at age.
Do you look at wealth and background?
Look at, you know, the wallet, as Americans would call it. You know, we live in a world where now it may not be very advisable to walk into a relationship that's going to last you the whole of your life with your eyes closed. So even interrogating issues of money, ability, capacity is also a good idea. Look, you want to marry this young lady. Do you have the capacity to take care of her? Does she have the capacity to support you as you also support the family? So you will have to consider, if a girl is getting married, to say, yeah, Mimi Sijali, we shall start everything together. Again, it may not be very advisable. You need to look at it, some reality. This man I want to marry, does he have potential? You know, am I going to be an average woman all my life? This is a person here, this is his educational background, this is his training. This is his bank account. It has nothing. He doesn't even have a bank account. His wallet is empty. He only has 300 shillings for Lisa. It is the man you want to marry sometimes. No, it's good. You know, this is a lifelong thing. Yeah. Among the things you'll have to consider is even the capacity of that spouse. What are their abilities? Can they contribute to the marriage? Can they contribute to the well-being of the marriage? To the welfare of the marriage? To the upbringing of children? This is not an empty consideration. It's not empty. I'm not saying you go out there with your eyes so open and looking for money. But I'm saying don't brush it aside. Especially if you are so sure it will come to have a big bearing on the marriage. Look at it. Look at it.
Money is always an issue. So when modern women, young women, say that I am not following a broke man anywhere,
they are within their rights, except some are actually just foolish.
Yeah?
They think money is everything. Money is not everything. You need the man. You cannot say money there, I'm not even looking at the man so long as the money is there. No, you'll be disappointed.
What about
again, if you go into a marriage because your spouse, your future spouse, comes from a rich family, do you know how rich families treat other people? Do you know the kind of people? Money has turned rich men into animals. You are just a commodity that has been brought in that family. You may be made to feel so small They may not even entertain your people at home. You know, when you are a poor person of average means, you are still a human being. The moment you begin going up on the ladder of success, financial success, you shed off that humanness. You become more and more of an animal. So by the time somebody is a billionaire where you want to get married in Karen, they are not human beings. They are very artificial, very transactional. And you'll be made to feel you are nothing in that family. So you have to be very careful.
Is it because, Prof, we grow up in families where there isn't so much of what we need, such that we tend to get the idea of money as the complete package of happiness, especially in a marriage?
Some people think so. Some people think my daughter is lucky, my daughter's married in that family. Let me tell you, my daughter was dating a person.
Yeah?
I didn't get to know. You know, daughters hide men these things. Children, girls hide their fathers. They tell their mothers these things.
So you're in the dark?
So I got to know in my own ways.
You got a whiff?
Yeah, a whiff of it. And so
yeah?
When it changed, she was now dating another person. And I just asked in passing. Now this one, they were now trying to come home.
Introduce you to the man.
So I said, what happened the earlier one? I said, that my daughter was so scared because the man was thinking rich.
And she never got to tell you about this man?
I didn't know until
but
she
somehow,
saw with her own eyes, she got scared at the level of wealth. I'm not saying you should get scared at the level with wealth, but it should open your eyes. You should think about a few things. Compatibility is not a very small matter. You can join a family that is so rich that you don't belong there at all.
That happens?
Yeah, you may not belong. I know, me, I'm at the university. You know why I'm talking about these things?
But that's the dream of most African women.
The reason why you see me informed this, my door at the university is always open. And ever since we started admitting mature students in 1998, 1999, I interact a lot with mature students and I get to hear all manner of stories. I know a lady who is married in Limuru. She was married in Limuru. The husband went to study, I don't know where. He rarely comes, and the day he comes, he's on vodka until he goes back. The family were just covering for the inadequacies of the son by getting him a wife. You get it?
And love cannot bridge the gap.
The family, everybody drives from Limuru in the morning to come and drink. The daughters, everybody goes to drink in the morning. They come back to sleep. You are completely suspended in the air. You don't know. You don't belong. You are nothing. You don't interact with your husband because he's away for a number of years. When he comes here, he's on his vodka, and that's how the family. So you need to be very careful. Discrepancies, differences of whatever nature must not be taken for granted. If you come from a poor family, don't just walk into an extremely rich family in marriage and think you are going to have a good marriage. You must interrogate things. You must ask around. You must find out things. Talk to other people, and you can learn a thing or two. Equally, if you've been brought up in Lavington and you are going to marry from Dandora, please also interrogate a number of things, because we live in different worlds.
What could go wrong there?
We live in different worlds. In one world, a human being is a human being. Laughter is genuine. Tears are genuine. In the other world, human beings are animals. They are machines. Somebody shows you their teeth. They are not laughing. They are not happy. You see, we interact with the human beings because we still have that sentimental aspect of us, which is eroded and torn apart as you go up the success ladder.
We become less social creatures?
Yeah, so look here. An ordinary person like me, I would entertain my brothers, my sisters, my nephews, my cousins, extended.
Mm-hmm.
So you get married, you are a girl into a family in Karen. You should also be prepared that these people of yours will not be visiting those people. They will not take it kindly. That's not how they live. They are not human beings.
Two different worlds.
If they come home, they find your sister is there, you are laughing and you are cussing. They think, this villager, that's not life to them. A true story of my late sister-in-law, she's passed on sometimes. She was accommodated by a couple in town because she was coming to Kenya Polytechnic from Kiambu.
Mm.
And when the exam season got, she had to be within Nairobi. So she was hooked up with a family. And when she got the family, they welcomed her. She was going to be there for like 30 days during the exam. One day, they were on table dining, fairly successful upper middle class. The woman of the house asked the servant, the house girl, or whatever they call them, where are eggs? I said, there are no eggs. What? How? This girl said they are finished. But, you know, they buy exact number of eggs.
For every day.
If there are 10 people if there are 5 people in a home, those are 5 eggs times 30, 150 eggs. Those are 5 trays. So how come we are on 25th, 5 days to go, and you are telling me there are no eggs? Then the worker was looking until my sister-in-law, then she was a young girl, I'm sorry, I have been cooking some. What? So you see, it's a very innocent thing. You just go to the kitchen, tang, shh. How I mess up my ayao. Sausage is mess up you. So you cannot even bring a guest, a visitor. That life, are you prepared for? You don't just take it for granted.
Oh.
Any differences in age, in religion, in economic status, in many of these race, don't think it is going to be easy. No marriage is easy. But these differences make it much more challenging. So I don't want to advise anybody to get excited because their boyfriend is driving a wonderful car. He comes from a wonderful family. That could be the beginning of your misery. What I would advise young people would be normally, you ask what you look for. Look for potential. If you date a person for a couple of months, you can see whether they have potential or not. You can see this guy has nothing. He has some little education. This is a guy who can advance his education. This is a guy who can save a shilling or two. You can see, you can learn this, so you are assessing potential, not what people have at that point. Of course, even what people have at that point is important. Because somebody is marrying you and you are going to have a family. You could have a child in a year's time, God blessing you. And even feeding that child may be a problem. If you are living in the modern world, you are not in the village. You are in town in Nairobi. We are talking of things like insurance. We are talking about being the security of a job. Those are things you can't just wish away. You can't. You know, it was secure in the village. You know, in the village setup, the wife was being brought not to the husband, to the family, not to the family, to the clan, not to the clan, to the entire community. So there was security in that kind of arrangement. There's security. But now somebody's marrying you in Nairobi. You don't know whether they'll pay rent next month. And you say it's love. My friend, think twice. And when many people cannot handle problems, challenges, a man can be a very good man to the wife, a young couple. But if the shilling is flowing in and the rent is being paid, the bills are being paid, many men will be destroyed the moment the job disappears. You won't even believe the man you have been seeing is a man. They may even become violent. You know, they may become abusive. By the time you get to know it's because this guy has been sacked. He was living on the last, what do you call, severance package. It is too late.
And he didn't tell
under a few slaps in the house. Kumbe huyu mtu amefutwa kazi. Anatoka tu anapiga tai. So it's good. Even if people get married without knowing when your spouse works.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Prof, let's stop there.
That sort of approach to marriage is wrong.
It's wrong.
Knowing about your future husband, knowing about your future girl, whose daughter is she? What kind of person is she? She says she went to school. Even just looking at what she has in terms of certificates. A man tells you he has gone to school. Which university did he go? Oh, I go Labda, Uganda. It's important to, in short, I'm saying, days when you walked into a marriage with your eyes closed are long behind us. They belong to us and especially our mothers. In today's world, open your eyes as you go into a marriage. There will be less disappointments.
Less disappointment. All right, that's it, folks. We've heard it from Prof himself. He says, once you decide that you want to choose a partner, a wife, a husband, a lifelong partner in this journey of life, you ought to open all your eyes, all your ears, and go in rada, as the young people say. I'll see you next time. Please remember to subscribe to this new channel of Let's Talk Love Kenya, where every day I'm here with Professor Herman Manyora of the University of Nairobi to break down all those issues that affect you. Till next time, bye.
Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children